Jai Jai Shri Radheshyam and welcome. 500 years of history, everything was wrong until Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati made everything right. Something is fishy and something is very, very interesting to discover and to investigate. In the following video we will speak about NABADWIP and Mayapur. Is truly Mayapur the birthplace of Sri Gouranga Mahaprabhu? Why 64 different Gaudiya Vaishnava parivars agree that Mayapur is not the birthplace of Sri Gouranga Mahaprabhu, but actually only one new line claims that Mayapur is the birthplace of Sri Gouranga. That is Gaudiya Math, and of course their sons is gone. Are there serious investigations on the topics? Yes, there are. And today we will start this series by reading this wonderful book, Sri Chaitanya Dev, the birthplace of Sri Gouranga Mahaprabhu. Deep and clear information on Sri Gouranga Mahaprabhu birthplace. Important is to notice that this book cannot be writing by a follower of the Gaudiya Vaishnavism, Babajis or Goswamis. This work is coming from the NABADWIP Archaeological Center. They must know something. I have 10 copies of this book in my hands, ready to parcel to your address. Would you like to have a copy? The information here is crystal clear. No bogus, no dreams, all scientific investigation on the birthplace of Sri Gouranga Mahaprabhu. You cannot miss it. Let's get started. Please listen with attention. On 16 January 1894 AD, a meeting was convened at A.B. School of Krishna Nagar by the then magistrate of Nadia, Sri Kedarnath Datta. He said in that meeting that one night, when he was on a visit to Tarakeshbar, he had a divine command in his dream that the charland of Miyanpur is the birthplace of Chaitanya Dev. In the summer of that year, when he and his son Kamal were passing on the roof of their house at Gadigach at dead of night, they changed miraculous light in the char of Miyanpur. The two events, namely the receipt of divine command and sight of a miraculous light in the charland, made him sure that the charland of Miyanpur is the birthplace of Sri Chaitanya Dev. Hence, if the meeting permits him, he may build temples in that charland and arrange for the worship of Mahaprabhu. The meeting, for obvious reason, gave him the permission of creating temples and worship of Mahaprabhu in that area called Miyanpur. The controversy on the birthplace of Chaitanya commenced since then. Kedarnath Datta possessed fathomless erudition in Vaishnava scriptures. His desire was to leave for Vrindavan after his retirement. There, he will remain engaged in prayer and meditation and preach Gaudiya Vaishnava religion. After receipt of the divine command in his dream, he gave up the thought of going to Vrindavan, but in order to be installed as mentor in religious practice, it was very urgent to win the title of Mahanta. To fulfill this purpose, he once went from door to door of the Goswamis of NABADWIP. He being a Kayastha by caste, it is assumed the Goswamis did not endow him with the title of Mahanta. Moreover, he had to be erased in different ways for this. He too avenged his insult. He converted the charland of Miyanpur to Mayapur. He changed the name of Miyanpur and had it recorded as Mayapur in official records and documents. Having purchased land from Muslims, he set himself to the task of building monasteries and temples. The events that followed are stated below. 1. Kedarnath Datta retired from government service in 1894 AD. His ascetic name is Acharya Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. 2. That very year, 1894 AD, Kedarnath Datta set up Navadvip Dham Pracharini Sabha and started propagating the charland of Miyanpur as Mayapur. After the demise of Kedarnath Datta in 1914 AD, his worthy son Bimala Prasad Datta, ascetic name Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Tridandi Paramahamsa, at the later age carried on completing the unfinished work of his father. In 1918 AD, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati set up Sri Chaitanya Math at Miyanpur, now called Mayapur. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati arranged for the setting up of Sri Mayapur Post Office at Miyanpur in 1929 AD. In 1932 AD, Sri Abhay Sharan De, section of an aristocratic family settled in Calcutta, was initiated into ascetic life by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati, and his ascetic name was A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami. In 1934 AD, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati set up the Yoga Pith temple at the birthplace of Sri Chaitanya Dev at Miyanpur, now known as Mayapur. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati passed away in 1936 AD. 9. A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami left for America in 1965. 10. A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami stayed in America from 1965 to 1970 AD. And from there, he preached Krishna consciousness, and in 1966, he set up the Society for Krishna Consciousness in America, ISKCON. 11. On 29 February 1972, the day of Gaur Purnima, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami laid for the foundation of Chandrodaya Temple at Miyanpur, which has been turned into the head office of ISKCON. 12. On the 14 November 1977, in the month of Kartik, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami breathed his last at the temple of Krishna Balaram in Vrindavan. Now the question remains. It has been said in the biographies of Sri Chaitanya Dev that he was born at Nabadwip in the Vedic Pali of Nabadwip. Mayapur is conspicuous by its absence in any biography of Chaitanya Dev. Then how did Mayapur came to be linked with the birthplace of Chaitanya? The name of Mayapur can be found only in Bhakti Ratnakar, written by Narahari Chakraborty. It has been stated earlier that Kedarnath Datta was well versed in Vaishnava scriptures. When he assimilated Bhakti Ratnakar, the Goswamis of Navadvip had not even heard his name. Thought Kedarnath mentioned the book to be an ancient one. Up to date, research has revealed that the book was in reality composed sometime between 1750 to 1760 AD. Narahari Chakrabarti wrote Bhakti Ratnakar with a view to spreading the greatness of Srinivasacharya. In order to create a spiritual ambience in this book, he designated the birthplace of Sri Chaitanya as Mayapur. In poetic fancy, the birthplace of Chaitanya Dev has been compared to a lotus in imitation of the birthplace of Sri Krishna. The thalamus of the lotus is the seat of Sri Chaitanya Dev, and the 9 petals symbolize the 9 types of devotion introduced by Chaitanya. The 9 petals of the lotus refer to the neighboring regions of Navadvip, associated with the memory of Chaitanya Dev. He has called all these regions islands. This island is not a place surrounded by water as described in geography. On the opposite bank of the Ganga flowing by the eastern side of the present NABADWIP town, there are 4 islands: Simantadvip, Antadvip, Godrumbip, and Madhyadvip. On the other bank of the Ganga flowing along the west of the present NABADWIP town, there are 5 islands, namely Kolvip, Ritudvip, Jagnudvip, Modrumbip, and Rudradvip. Narahari Chakrabarti has stated in Navadvip Parikram, that is, Navadvip or Nadia town, the birthplace of Sri Chaitanya, is a very charming place surrounded by 9 islands. Between 1760 to 62 AD, the Ganga and the Jalangi met each other in the northeast corner of the present Navadvip town, and then the Ganga started flowing along the old course of the Jalangi in the east of Navadvip. At this period, the Ganga was found to exist in the west and east of Navadvip. Since then, the Ganga flowing by the west of Navadvip began to get lean and attenuated. It was the time when Narahari composed Bhakti Ratnakar. The caprice of the Ganga Jalangi caused a lot of change during that period, expressed by Narahari Chakrabarti in Navadvip Parikram in a verse. According to the custom of Nadia, it is narrow somewhere and wide elsewhere. The Vedic Pali of Navadvip was not swallowed up by the Ganga even in 1760 AD. It, along with the homestead of Chaitanya Dev, went under the Ganga sometime between 1777 to 1982 AD. From the old deeds and documents, it is known that the Vedic Pali, having been inundated by the Ganga Maharaj, Krishna Chandra arranged for their dwelling houses in the dairy area in the south of Navadvip. The area where the Vedic Brahmins were provided with new homes is known as Vedic Para at Navadvip even today. When the attempt to convert Miyanpur into Mayapur was set on foot, protests was made against it by Kanti Chandra Rarhi of Navadvip and later on by Braya Mohandas Babaji. The residents of Navadvip did not unitedly protest against it or launch an agitation at the suitable time. The end result is that Mayapur or Miyanpur have been proudly existing as Sri Mayapur even today. There is hardly any doubt where there is another such living precedent of making a settled fact unsettled. The evil design of converting Mayapur into Sri Mayapur could not, however, be resisted, but it bore one good result. Since the beginning of 1900 AD, extensive study of Navadvip commenced. Then, celebrated anthropologists, historians, geographers, and erudite scholars of Navadvip started carrying on studies about Navadvip, and the produce of their studies was published in contemporary different magazines and periodicals. Their priceless articles are not easily available nowadays. They are disappearing into the womb of time, but it is very urgent to present before the posterity a picture of ancient Navadvip. Sri Satyendra Lal Majumdar has carried on a prolonged study of Navadvip. Sri Yagneshwar Chaudhary has enriched the study of Navadvip. His notable articles have already been published, and those have been highly applauded by learned scholars. Sri Yagneshwar Chaudhary has carried on a long research on the location of ancient Navadvip. He has in his collection a vast repository of articles on Navadvip, written by the wise scholars of the past. Thus, the foreword of this book ends with several and more names about some researchers, scientific bodies, and different scholars related to this work. Santiranjan Dev, General Secretary, Navadvip, Puratattva Parishad, Archaeological Center of Navadvip, Navadvip, Ratha Yatra 2004. Just the four words are giving a strong and deep thoughts on what Mayapur really is. Actually, from the books of history and articles and others written even by British historians on the time of the British Empire in India, they wrote about Navadvip and Mayapur. Everything shows from those times that the actual Mayapur was never called Mayapur, but it was Miyanpur. That place was a Muslim area only. Even today, far from the ISKCON Mayapur and the areas of Gaudiya Math, you see only Muslims living there, because this place originally was a Muslim place. Not taken over by Muslims, they have been there since the time of Sri Gouranga Mahaprabhu. We will see all the details and spectacular information in the next episode. I hope you enjoyed. Remember that I have 10 copies of this book and it's available right now. Send me an email to gaurasangha@gmail.com, email in description. Thank you very much for watching. Mahavira Raman Ki Jai, Jai Nitai, Jai Gaur, Jai Jai Shri Radha Shyam. See you in the next.